Hello, welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thank you for tuning in and following me as I explore the wide world of pens, the wondrous world of pens, the amazing world of pens. And you see one of those in front of you on a turntable being watched over by Mr. Sizemore and Miss Sizemore. And it is certainly a unique pen in my world of pens, and it's quite a big world, and to have a unique pen is quite unusual. So this is the Hongdian 100th anniversary pen, and this is the silver tone version. There's also a version that I've seen just pictures of that's gold tone with red enamel inlays and a 14 karat nib, and rumor has it it's quite expensive. I checked Tubu Focus and AliExpress and all my other sources, and I couldn't find any reference to it, so it may only be sold direct in China. But we have this pen in front of us, and this is the pen we're going to review. It's a substantial pen. Certainly not for the light of heart or ones that like a light pen, because it has decent heft and weight to it. But the interesting part is that metal with all the engravings, stampings, the design. And I call it an artistic design. There may be some references in the art to certain parts of China, but I'm not going to speculate on what that might be. Not my role. But I do enjoy fountain pens. I do enjoy looking at them, holding them, writing with them, and we're going to do that with this pen. Stay tuned. I think we need to look at this pen close up so you can appreciate what they did. I mean, this is completely covered, both cap and barrel, with, I would call it an artistic interpretation of a bunch of different things. That knurled blind cap, because this is a piston filler. Cap comes off in just a little over one turn, which is really, really nice. Kind of good smoked window there for the ink view. I think that's a nice touch. It goes well with the whole design of the pen, and I think Hongdian does an excellent job of integrating their designs. You know, nice little nib on there. Nice flat end, and there's that star. So we're not going to take this pen apart. You know, it's a standard piston fill. You turn this counterclockwise, and it's a fair number of turns. And you can see the piston through the window. We need to add some extra light, and we'll retract the piston. There you can see it retract, down, up. The piston seems to have a fair amount of travel to it. I think there should be a nice amount of ink in this pen once it's filled. So we've darkened the room. You get a little bit of a different perspective on those engravings in the metal. Just, I'm impressed. Of course, I might be easily impressed. Inside we'll see a big plastic liner, one-piece liner it looks like. So there's plastic threads that match up with the metal threads on the bottom of the barrel. It's a big area for the nib to be in, but it'd been nice to see a smaller area to correspond to the nib and meet up with the bottom of that section to seal it in even more. But we'll see how it keeps the nib wet over time. You know, the LED does a good job at bringing out detail. Nicely done. This is as far as I'm going to take the pen apart. The nib unit unscrews. Standard Hongdian number 6 nib unit. Nice clean engraving on the nib, reminiscent of the pen. Standard plastic feed. I'll put an O-ring there at the bottom of that section. There is an O-ring here at the top, which works for this piston filler. I think these engravings on the pen are excellent. Very clean, very crisp. I'm not going to be one to interpret what they mean. I look at them as just some form of art. And the cap has a similar type of engraving to it. Seems to be some controversy over that red star at the top, but it's done artistically very well. And if you look at it without considering any of the political implications, it looks nice. Again, impressive on what they did here. I'm assuming it's stamped in, or they have a die that's rolled around the tube. And we'll see the model there. At the bottom where the clip is slightly off center. Easy to fix. Very stiff clip, very solid and sturdy, and very stiff, which Hongdian is known for. Well, here I've brought in 2 pens to do a size comparison. The top pen is a Pelikan M800, and this is a Jinhao 100 Centennial. The Hongdian 100 is just slightly shorter, but not significantly. It's certainly as girthy as these pens. It's a good size pen. I would say almost oversized, not quite. So here we have the pens posted, and much to my amazement, but not really, the Hongdian 100 posts very deep, very secure. As you can see, it's now a lot shorter than the M800. And of course, the 100 Century is not a pen I would post. It doesn't post deep, and it is very long. The 100, when you post it, this cap weighs 20 grams, so you feel it. Not a pen I would write with posted. So here we are with the business end, and the Hongdian holds its own. It's not a two-tone nib, but then the pen is a nice solid color, so a two-tone nib would not, to me, look as good as this single silver tone nib. And it's certainly a good size nib. It's number 6. M800 is just slightly larger and very ornate and two-tone. The section, I think, is excellent. Just the right size and length. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the M800 section and the Jinhao 100 section. So they did an excellent job, as usual, in the design and engineering to make a functional fountain pen that we can enjoy. So in my world of inks, there's only one ink to put into the anniversary pen, and that's this Pen BBS ink, number 135, and it's called Beijing. Looks like that palace is on the cover artwork. There it is again. And of course I put a label here on the top because when it's in my ink box, I only see the top. And it is a reddish brown ink. It's a nice color. I've used it in a few other pens. Let's see how well it works in that fine Hongdian nib. So now it's time for some editorial comments, maybe some dimensions, and a look at the writing. I've had this pen now for a couple weeks. I filmed the earlier part of the review and then got distracted and didn't finish it. So now we're finishing it. I just like this pen. It's really grown on me, and it's a pen that I've been using every day. Not something I would have expected. And what makes it nice, I think, is the way it feels. It has a nice substantial feel, and that metal section is not slippery at all. Those threads you don't feel, so you can hold it anywhere. And I like the girth. So it's an extra fine nib. And I'm not necessarily an extra fine person. I think it's a fine nib. There's an F on it, but it writes like an extra fine. But I enjoy that because it really puts down a precise line consistently. No drying out issues that I was concerned a little bit about when I looked at how the cap was made, but however they did it, it works. That's what the Hongdian is good at doing. So let's show you how that Pen BBS ink number 135 works in this Chinese pen. Like I said, I really like this fine nib. It's just a consistent writer, and many times that's what you want in a pen. This is a pen I'd have no trouble as an everyday carry. Taking it with me, would work on many different types of paper. All I can say is I like it. And for the price of $30, this pen has a feel substantially above that. One might say it hits above its weight. There's another phrase, but that's the one I'm coming up with. And I like the way this feels. They just did a great job. There's no transition between the metal barrel and the section in that ink window, which works very well when you use a light. So I think it's time to do the rating. And my handwriting is degraded, as it does many times. We're going to give it a 9.9. It gets 2 checks because I love the design, the build, the construction. Has that luxury feel to it. The nib gets a check. And it gets a check because it brings me joy. Why isn't it a 10? Well, it's a little heavy. It's a design that may turn some people off, and I need to take that into consideration, even though I do like it. And it is my rating, but occasionally I let other influences come in. So we've reached the conclusion of this video. I hope it finds all of you safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens, putting some ink on paper. So thank you for watching. May you have a great day. May you have a great pen day. We've reached the end. There's lots of pens in queue for more videos. Stay tuned. Bye. Nice writer.